Rustin, give me your preview of the game. What do you think? What are your predictions?
Well, obviously Bedford having the pedigree coming into this game and the higher seed. But Winnacunnet has had kind of success against the top 4 teams this year. Only have 6 losses on the season, 3 of which were only double-digit losses. So I feel like if they can compete and just work hard and try to grind them down, maybe they'll have a shot.
I feel like they've won maybe 12 of their last 13 or something like that.
Yeah, they've ended the season real well on a pretty good winning streak.
I think we're getting ready for introductions here. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back live for the tip-off. Meg Nollmeyer has the ability to take over any game that she's in. She's scored in double digits in multiple games. I believe in the preliminary round she had a triple-double. My prediction is that O'Connell's going to match up against her. It'll be I think, a pretty equal matchup. Kaya and Maddie Blake here on Bedford, both sophomores, both extremely athletic, match up well together. I had the ability to see both of them in the offseason, coach Maddie a little bit. Balchich here is an oversized point guard, distributes the ball well. Chinois, another sophomore. You see both these teams yet to have a senior in their starting lineup. There's our first senior. Look for her to shoot the 3. She had 3 threes in the first quarter against Memorial on Tuesday night. So both rosters, between the 10 of the starters, only one of them is a senior. If you're just joining us, this is a live broadcast brought to you by Castle Hill Sports, specializing in athletic recruiting videos. Feel free to call us at 603-289-4615 for more information. Again, this is Courtney Cheatham.
This is Rustin Hitchcock.
Live from Bedford High School. Russ and I had the pleasure of coaching together the Merrimack Tomahawks. And now we're here just to support a strong Division I battle. It's nice to see some female coaching in the quarters here. It's a little gender biased on my part. But
well, I understand that.
a couple years ago when I started coaching this league, there were maybe about 2 or 3 coaches, and now it's kind of becoming more widespread, which I like. Tip-off goes for Courtney O'Connell. Janois Lanyon on the layup.
Starting to see a matchup man press right out of the gate from Bedford.
We got a steal by Courtney O'Connell. A layup attempt by Purcell, no good. Out of bounds, Winnacunnet ball. I think Bedford prides itself on its defensive man-to-man pressure. Not surprised to see this full court pressure for the start. We got sophomore Alstronaut bringing the ball up. We'll see how tight this game's called with the 3 referees. Hand check seems to be a common call these days. Purcell on the steal. And for the layup. It's a quick 4 points for Bedford.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to set the tempo early, get Winnacunnet a little sped up. Don't let them get in their sets and their outside shooting to really catch fire.
Interesting matchup on the far left side of the court. We've got O'Connell on the shooter, Britton. Wonder if that's just to get her length out there on the shot.
Yeah, as we saw, it was a big weapon for Winnacunnet in the first round. Definitely take that away early. It seems to be the game plan.
Looks like Winnacunnet's coming out in a 1-3-1. They didn't show this exactly against Memorial. They do match up well in this zone. But Bedford seems to be moving the ball rather quickly. There's a block by Nolmeyer, by Valcic, who then continues to bring the ball up the floor. There's the shooter. I don't think we want to let that off. It's a good look, but it's no good by Britton. And a rebound to Allie Fillion. The Allie Fillion, the freshman here, starting in place of Nikki Tucci. Wondering if I heard some rumors about Tucci having a sore quad. Wonder if they're going to kind of use her as needed. There's our first hand check call. Not surprised. That's not good if she gets into foul trouble.
I do have to comment on 3 refs. I'm glad to see that we bumped up the ref count for the playoff games. I always feel like, especially with the speed of today's game, you really need that just to see all the different angles on the court.
Absolutely. We've got Winnacunnet running what looks like a flex offense here. Find the shooter, Britton. Bedford being very, very aggressive in their man-to-man. Very tight on these players. There's the curl cut, and Valcic with the basket and 1. That's going to be Bedford's second foul. That's going to go on Courtney O'Connell. I think that's the downside of playing aggressive man-to-man defense is you're going to take your foul calls. I know Jeremy Faulkner over at BG, he likes to play that aggressive man, but he's willing to take those fouls in turn for turnovers. Winnacunnet usually pretty flawless from the line, but they start off 0 for 1. That's going to be out of bounds off Janois Lanyon. Ball goes to Winnacunnet. Back into Valcic. Looked like a travel, but we're going to get a foul, another foul call instead. Let's see, that's going to be...
Gave her the shots, too, the continuation.
That's going to be Bree Purcell's second foul. That's 2 fouls in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, also 4 points for Purcell. That's going to throw her out of her rhythm a little bit. Bedford's going to have to rely on Fillion to bring the ball up. Valcic makes that one. Now we got another freshman coming in for Bedford. This is number 3, Mia Roy. We've got a timeout called. Was that the Bedford coach? Did you see coach called by Coach Sue Thomas? Wonder if she's just trying to make an adjustment now after Purcell came out of the game and how to adjust this defense with 3 foul calls.
Yeah, they probably weren't expecting the quick calls on this game, maybe trying to see if they'll let him play a little bit. That inbounds play, you could definitely see there was a gap in their man defense.
Bedford currently on the court has 2 sophomores in Blake and Lanyon, 2 freshmen in Roy and Fillion, and a junior in Courtney O'Connell. Scary to think that all 5 of these players will be back on the court next year for this number 1 seeded Bulldogs. Valcic makes the second. It's tie game now, 4-4. After a quick 4-0 start, when it kind of comes back, they extend their pressure out a little bit. That's a nice trap over in the side corner. And a good recovery by Arsenal to get back for that steal. Looks like we've got Tucci coming in. You can see Winnacunnet's patience on the offensive end. There's Nolmeyer. We're going to get a travel call before the basket.
I don't know, speaking to the youth, though, it seems like that's a pattern around the state that everybody has a pretty solid freshman, sophomore class that they're kind of proud of. And to see it on this stage already is pretty scary for the future.
That's going to be back. Yeah, I saw that too. You got to know where you are. That's the problem with this extended pressure. Forces you to take the ball in places you don't want to take. But Valchich bringing the ball up. Notice how well she keeps her eyes up when she's bringing the ball up on the offensive end. Nomeyer on a pick and roll. No good. Maddie Blake doing a good job defensively in the bottom against her. I'm not surprised to see that matchup. Maddie being one of the best defenders I've seen in the state, although undersized for her position. Super athletic and able to jump. And there's Nomeyer. Takes a ready layup, misses, takes another one and blocked. Frustration early for her may play an impact on how the game rolls. Coach encouraging her to keep going. They need her to get hot in order to be able to continue to compete in this game. Valchich dribbling the ball around the perimeter. There's Britton, the shooter. Looks like we might get in a little pick and roll here. Trying to get Britton a shot. Kind of throws a floater up and misses. Tucci in transition, can't really get in the flow. That's 2 turnovers in a row for Tucci. Wonder if not starting is sort of an impact on her getting in the flow of the game here.
And it could be that quad not having the balance or the speed she's used to. We'll see if it's a problem throughout the game.
Looks like Coach Thomas is going to pull Purcell off the bench with her 2 fouls. Maybe give her an easier matchup on the defensive end, although with this Winnacunnet lineup, I'm not sure there really is an easier defensive lineup. It's going to be a 5-second call against Valchich. That's, I guess, one of the interesting points about having a 3-man reffing crew. You're going to get some of those calls that aren't always called. Got Purcell back in. She's subbing in for Allie Fillion. Bedford really does need their point guard on the floor. That's Tucci, just long, and a rebound, Nomeyer. Valchich going to bring the ball up the floor. Looks like Winnacunnet's trying to slow down the tempo off of a rebound. Not surprised, though. Bedford seems to be able to get back on D relatively well. Again, we see the flex offense by Winnacunnet. Up and under, shot fake and jump shot by Arsenal, no good. Mia Roy with the rebound. It's nice when your point guard gets the rebound. She can just run the floor. Nice lefty bounce pass. That's a jump shot for Blake, no good. Rebound, Valchich. See how she just kind of slows down after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it plays into their hands a little bit based on how well they've gotten to the rim, just like that.
That's going to be a travel call.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting call by the referees. I think that's a common call in girls basketball. Rumor has it, if you do that move and you land on 2 feet, you're good to go. Although I don't know, I've never really seen it let fly here in girls basketball. Tucci.
Yeah,
Blake with the ball on the top.
I haven't seen a consistent precedent on whether or not that move is a travel in any state, really. But
agreed. Mia Roy. That's going to be a 2-pointer for Mia Roy. That was a good ball movement, but it is looks like 1 pass and a shot for Bedford, where Winnacunnet seems to move the ball a little better. Nice pass. Give and go there by Valchich and Nomeyer, but they're unable to finish. Seems like those little things are something you're going to need to be able to do. I also wonder if the change in tempo for Winnacunnet is because they don't want to bring too many people off the bench here, so they're trying to keep the legs of these players that are in here.
Yeah, the lack of depth can really dictate on how you want to strategize for all 4 quarters.
You gotta like these 5 on Winnacunnet, though.
They're attacking the defense well. They're being methodical.
They're getting some good looks.
Yeah.
We got Arsenal with the ball. Now you've got Meg Nomeyer on the wing and Valchich going for the post up. And there's going to be our 4th foul. I like that call by Winnacunnet, trying to go into the post, get Bedford in foul trouble, and see what can come of it.
Yeah, especially if they give looks to their 1 through 3 and get some of those quick guards from Bedford in foul trouble, they can really change the landscape of this game.
There's Valchich again from the free throw line. So I think, as I said earlier, Winnacunnet usually pretty good from the line. Valchich now making all but the first. And there's another one. Got Maddie Blake bringing the ball up. Maddie Blake on the drive. That's no good. Tips her own rebound.
Yeah, going back to White. Active hands throughout. Need to establish that position so you get that quickness away from the rim on those boards. Stack inbounds play from Bedford.
Finds Tucci, that's a shooter in the corner.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
She's good.
Allows them to set up their man pressure again.
It's going to be out of bounds. Back to Winnacunnet. We've got Janoyce checking in for Maddie Blake, and Alexis Meservy checking in for Mia Roy. Got Valchich bringing the ball up. Kaya Cadigan on the drive, no good. Saved. Oh, out of bounds off Valchich. We got a substitution for Winnacunnet, number 3, Casey Maggiore, in for number 23, Kaya Cadigan. Here we go with the extended 1-3-1 pressure. Bedford really trying to work the ball to the corner and then swing what looks like to the high post. That's a nice pass by Purcell. Lanigan's unable to connect. That's a good fight in the post by Tucci and a block by Nollmeyer. Tipped out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be Winnacunnet basketball. We still have Bedford in the full court press despite having 4 fouls in the first quarter. Winnacunnet able to get it into their point guard. Arsenal bring the ball up, pressured by Meservy. Yep, that's going to be a foul. That's going to be Bedford's 5th foul. I like the aggression, but again, with the 3-man reffing crew, this can really affect your foul calls, team fouls. Got Arsenal with the ball. Gives to Valchich. Brings it up. They're running, again, a low flex play here. This is Maggiore on the corner. Blocked by Tucci. Pushing the ball up. She's going to take it herself. And there's going to be a foul call. It's going to be on, looks like number 3. That's Kelly Arsenal. That's her first.
With Winnacunnet's low flex, it seems like Bedford isn't switching through screens, but rather fighting through. We'll see if that changes throughout the course.
Tucci missed the first. We've got Rachel Woodrig in for Bree Purcell. Rachel Woodrig is probably one of the most underrated players in the state. She's playing behind Purcell, so she doesn't get a ton of minutes, but maybe she will tonight with Purcell in foul trouble. Tucci able to connect on the second one. That's where O'Connell's height is just huge. Bedford really getting a tipping the ball a lot. You want to see this, they're playing more in the passing lanes, they're not playing as much help. That's probably, it's interesting to be able to play so tight, but it's working. They're forcing turnovers. We got O'Connell with the steal and the drive, unable to convert. Maggiore with the rebound. Gives it up to Arsenal, who's going to try to attack. Almost goes out of bounds. Nice pass across. Nollmeyer with for 2 on the baseline. Nice assist there by Arsenal.
Looking at 6 seconds left in the quarter.
And not paying attention.
No.
3 seconds. Winnacunnet ball on the wing. Wonder if there's a sideline play. Too bad they don't have your sideline play there, Mr. Hitchcock. We won't tell anybody what that is, though. We don't want to give it away.
Oh, no,
3 seconds. Valchich shoots it, no good. So after 1 quarter, we have Bedford Bulldogs 9 and Winnacunnet Warriors 8. 6 points in that frame by number 15, Katie Valchich of Winnacunnet.
That's the story of getting to the rim, especially with that low flex. They attack the blocks consistently. That's going to have to change, especially with the bonus coming up for Bedford. Have to figure a way to defend that.
That's not good news for Bedford. Warriors, as I keep re-emphasizing, really strong on their free throws. If I were them, I'd try to work it down into the post and see as many foul calls as they can get, instead of trying to throw these high passes across in this flex. I've seen them also run almost like a wheel offense where they back screen the point guard after the ball goes to the wing. I'd like to see a little bit of that to try to mix it up and potentially get some drives, finishes, and ones. All right, we're going to start the second half. Again, it's Bedford 9, Winnacunnet 8. It's Bedford ball coming in. We're going to get a foul. It's going to be Kelly Arsenal's second foul. She's playing tight defense as well on Purcell, which I like, but she's got to be careful with those 2 fouls. She's the only one who has any fouls on Winnacunnet. Winnacunnet denying the ball in here, and man.
Seemed like a classic, hey, 5-to-1 foul call.
I don't know, she's tight.
Yeah.
That's a hard screen by O'Connell. Nice pass by Purcell. And Lanion's able to connect.
Love the focus on the glass to finish that one.
Got Arsenal with a little one-handed pass picked off by Purcell. Purcell looks locked in this game. There's another basket by Purcell. And that's going to be a quick timeout. 4 straight points in the first 24 seconds. Again, Purcell kind of catalyzing this whole offensive play by Bedford, starting off the game with 4 quick points and then starting off the second quarter with 4 quick points.
Smart timeout call there. Bedford definitely a team that feeds off its own success and can keep flooding it out.
Although this is an 8-1 matchup, I expect it to be pretty close most of the way. This Winnacunnet team, very calm, really looks like they want to compete, which they showed against Memorial.
Well, they definitely have a lot of length that can rebound well. That's going to keep them in it, limiting their team to only 1 shot.
Also, credit to Maddie Blake. Nomeyer has yet to score, but I think she's going to be unable to keep in single digits. We'll see if she is able to convert on anything here in the second. Again, there's that pass on the flex cut and a phenomenal block by Courtney O'Connell.
Almost looked like a volleyball spike.
She does play volleyball.
There you go.
See why.
Yep.
I mean, that's just phenomenal athleticism by O'Connell. Got to screen the inbounder play out of Winnacunnet again. Look, see, there they are going to the low block. Cadigan back to her left hand. She is lefty, but that's straight up good defense by Janoise Lanyon. Purcell trying to push it. Little misfire there. I think a little miscommunication between Purcell and Maddie Blake. I think Purcell expected Maddie to continue through, and she did not.
Yeah, looking for that flare instead.
That's something you'd like to see more out of Blake. She's got amazing speed. She could score some transition baskets, but man, she's a workhorse on defense. There's the N1 by Nomeyer. Told you she was going to be hard to keep out of digits here. It's going to be a foul on Janoise Lanyon. That should be her first. We've got 2 G7 in here for Allie Fillion. And we've got Nomeyer making the basket and going to the line for 1. I believe she scored 21 points from the free throw line in the second half against Memorial and makes the first one there. I want to know what Coach Turcotte does to get these kids to make the free throws, because we've tried everything and it doesn't seem to work in our favor.
Well, especially when it's one of your tallest players making free throws. That's an undeniable weapon.
I might have to steal some of her tactics.
There you go.
We've got Lanyon on the baseline corner, and Maddie Blake, she can drive from that left side real well. And then we got Nomeyer on the rebound. I think that's a layup that 9 times out of 10 I see Blake convert on. We got Valchech kicking to the shooter. That looks like that got tipped. That might be that length and size of Courtney O'Connell defending Britton on the wing. I think that's a good call by Coach Thomas. We got pressure in the front. We look like we moved to a little bit of a 2-3. That's going to be a foul, I believe, on Valchech.
First quarter, she took the jumper from that spot. This time, the 1 dribble to the rim. Definitely different success rate there.
I think if you're guarding that post player, you kind of let her catch it there. If you can't deny it.
Yeah, you should always play on the drive. Yep.
Janoise Lanyon misses her first. We've got Mia Roy subbing in for Courtney O'Connell. Let's see if that allows Britton to get some shots off on the wing. Unable to convert the second, but Maddie Blake with a key rebound, kicks to herself. She makes this. That could be a game changer. Rebound by Nollmeyer. We're going to get the ball back into Arsenal's hands. Remember, Arsenal's got the 2 fouls. Bedford has Purcell with 2 fouls. I'd like to see Winnacunnet kind of attack them a little more. It's going to be a foul. It's going to be a Winnacunnet possession. It's going to be a foul on Maddie Blake. That puts Winnacunnet in the bonus for the remaining 5:45 of the first half. Again, this is Nollmeyer from the free throw line. She's shooting because of 1-on-1. That was not a shooting foul. Misses the first. Out of bounds off White. Winnacunnet ball. How do you think the game's been called so far, Rustin?
You know, it's tight, and I think the players and the coaches need to realize that the hand checking is going to be called this game, so they need to probably adjust if we keep going on. However, with Bedford's depth, they don't have much foul trouble. There's a lot of people with 1 foul. Yeah, they're in the bonus, but it doesn't necessarily hurt them in a long game sense.
That's another turnover by Bedford. This, again, it's 13-13 with 5:30 left, and I see on equal sides, there's the defensive pressure causing a lot of turnovers. When it kind of inbounds the ball to Arsenal, it's going to bring the ball up against Mia Roy. Yeah, Bedford really does have a lot of depth, and I wonder if in the second half that's going to prove to play to their favor. You've got Britton taking it to the rim. Look like a couple extra steps there. We got Nollmeyer on the rebound and makes that. So as I said before, quiet in the first quarter. Excuse me, she did have 1 basket in the first quarter. I thought she had not scored at all, but she has 7 points in this quarter. And some key defense. She is just a firecracker. You're going to see she might take over a game. If she gets hot here, she'd go on a little run. It's an aggressive pressure by Tucci on Britton. That's the shooter. Arsenal under control. That's like one of those ball handling drills you practice. Dribbling on your knee and standing up. Very, very nice. Valcic looking to drive. Nollmeyer kind of gets in the way, but here she goes to the basket. Doesn't convert, gets her own rebound, and finish, puts it in. Coach Turcotte excited about that one.
A little skip and a jump there. But staying active from your big man, that's what you want.
She just has so much heart and just refuses to lose. I mean, when you're playing against that, it's almost like you're playing 5 against 6. Bedford with another turnover. Coach Thomas frustrated. Potentially going to call another timeout. We'll see when they get the ball back. Maddie Blake coming out here. We got Courtney O'Connell coming back in. Not surprised to see so many turnovers with both teams being aggressive on defense, but also with the youth we talked about. I mean, I think that's when the youth really comes into play. Just nerves and experience. That's a tip there by Purcell. Purcell looks controlled. It's a turnover by Winnacunnet.
Yeah, it's something you'll see probably in the next couple of years, that these types of turnovers won't happen with these teams because they've been here before, have that experience, and it goes such a long way.
Absolutely, and there's that timeout that I anticipated Coach Thomas to call. So we've got 17-13 with 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Nollmeyer to score 9 points in this frame for 11 total on the game. She's 11 of Winnacunnet's 16. Excuse me, of Winnacunnet's 17. Britton not scoring yet. She could get hot from the outside, and then might be all over.
Bedford predominantly scoring in their transition off of turnovers. If Winnacunnet keeps the same style of play on the offensive end with the patience and valuing the ball, it could be tough for Bedford to get back in it if this lead extends any further. But then again, with the skill and the depth and the second half coming up, it's going to be an interesting game. It's definitely a story of 2 different styles here.
I love the crowd. We've got the crowd trying to get some cheering going. We've got a decent-sized student section, a great parent section.
Couple of signs. That's always good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like this the dog house over there to kind of get going. But they don't seem to be fired up yet. They got fired up for O'Connell's block.
Yeah, well, that was, you couldn't stay in your seat after that one. That was a nice feat of athleticism.
I could, but that could be due to my broken limbs here.
Right.
All right, got Mia Roy bring the ball up. When it kind of looks like they're playing a little more of a 2-3 now, but they're extending the pressure. Nice steal by Arsenal. We don't want to leave Tucci open, but that pressure was able to cause a turnover, and then when it kind of almost loses it again here. We got number 22 in. I believe that's Emily Britton, the sister of the senior, Molly Britton. That's a turnover by Winnacunnet. Valchich trying to feed Nomeyer, but just off cue on that pass. Got Mia Roy bringing it up for Bedford. Nice bounce pass. Bedford keeps going to the corner and then finding that high post. There's Purcell. I don't think we want to let her drive to the basket like that. That's another basket for Purcell. She's keeping Bedford in this game with 8 points. We got Valchich bringing the ball up. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I should have found that out the other day. Nice pass in the back door, but just stepping out of bounds. I think that red to red on the end line is sort of confusing. Got Arsenal tying her shoe here, slight delay.
Well, it's back-to-back turnovers for Winnacunnet, trying to force a couple different things instead of having that patience on the perimeter like they exhibited earlier in this game. Oh, there's a shot from Bedford.
Who just made that?
Number 20.
Nikki Tucci, two-pointer. I got distracted. I'm trying to get an update on any other games. I think most of the other games in the state are starting at 7 o'clock tonight. Again, expect Tucci and Purcell and O'Connell. They've been in this position before in these playoff games. You expect them to come alive. Doesn't surprise me that Purcell and Tucci just combined for those last buckets by Bedford. See that pressure extended. Nice steal by Valchich. Let's see if she can get it up. Nope, that's going to be a block by Meservy. It's going to go back to Winnacunnet. We got Kaya Cadigan subbing in here for Casey Maggiore. Got Bedford man-to-man out of this press, trying to get it into the post again. Did have a mismatch, but that's going to be Winnacunnet basketball. There's a 3-man reffing crew making sure they get that one correctly.
Good job by them to confer with each other.
Get the ball in. This could be a quick count if we don't get it in. We got to communicate on that there, Blue. Nice job by Arsenal. She really has picked up her, it's an air ball by Britton, her dribbling skill. I've seen her play since she was in 7th grade. That's going to be a steal by Valchich and a foul by Meservy on the drive. I'd like to see her try to convert that and one, but hopefully these free throws prove to equalize the foul. It's going to be on Meservy. That's her first. Bedford's 8th. Valchich converts. We've got number 11, Rachel Woodrick, subbing in for number 22, Alexis Meservy. It's actually her second foul. I apologize. Valchich making both. She makes that look pretty easy.
Yeah, very effortless
6
shot.
of 7 from the line, and the team is 7 for 9. I don't think we want to inbound the ball to the corner, but they're able to get it to O'Connell, who gets it to Roy, who gets it to Tucci. And we got Cadigan and O'Connell. Those are two very athletic, high-jumping players on the side. Britton looking for the ball on the far side. That's Emily Britton's sister. A little late on the pass by Arsenal. Nice ball movement by Winnacunnet. Surprised that was not a foul call around the back there.
Yeah, definitely seen the offhand driving into there on the tip, but
good pressure by Arsenal. Bedford moving the ball very well against this pressure. It's harder than it looks. Bedford kind of making it look easy. That's going to be a blue ball. And we've got another substitution. We've got Nomeyer going to the bench and Sarah Dyer checking in. Sarah Dyer, a senior on this Winnacunnet squad. I think with Kaya Cadigan in the game, you can take out some of your size and give her a quick breather. Nomeyer has not been out of the game to end this quarter. We'll give her a quick 1-minute breather and go right into the quarter, I'm anticipating. Maybe if there's another dead ball on offense, she'll check back in.
Yeah, trying to extend the halftime for stud player. Smart move.
I'd like to see, I'm glad Coach Turcotte's bringing the other Britton back in the game here, Molly, excuse me. Try to provide some offense. It's going to be a jump ball. It's going to go back to Winnacunnet. Molly checking in for her sister, Emily. I think this is a nice call by Coach Turcotte, trying to get her shooter back in the game. See, with 53 seconds left, even if they get the ball back off of a defensive possession, maybe she can shoot the long 3 if need be. Winnacunnet having trouble getting the ball, and we got Cadigan in the low block. Goes up and one. That's a good finish.
A great finish, yep.
Cadigan is a lefty, but that's a good job by O'Connell, who again jumps through the roof. That's going to be O'Connell's second foul And we've got Janois checking in. Cadigan going to line for 1 after converting. Cadigan, a huge asset to Winnacunnet. That's a rebound by Valcic. Cadigan, a huge asset to Winnacunnet on the defensive end, and really passes the ball well on offense. Doesn't always look for her offense. Would like to see her look more for that. It's going to be a turnover on a travel call. We've got Janois to Woodrig to Fillion around the perimeter. Bedford really moving a lot on offense and really finding some gaps in this defense, but not getting any easy shots. Winnacunnet really kind of packing it in. We got to overplay Tucci, who feeds Lannion. Nice soft fadeaway jump shot by Lannion. That's going to tie the game up with 8 seconds left. There's Britton going in. No call. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. Woodrig, no good. So as we anticipated, 19-19 at the half. Winnacunnet coming back after a slower start to the quarter.
Well, it looks like about 2 points put on the board for Winnacunnet.
We've got, we're making an adjustment to the score here.
Yeah, it looks like we have some conference going on. Bedford coach obviously wondering what's happening.
I have 21 total points for, it should be 21 total points for Winnacunnet and 19 total points for Bedford. It is 21-19, it should be. I don't think when Kaya Cadigan hit that basket and got fouled, they counted the basket.
Oh, on the N1, right.
So after 2, it's Bedford 19 and Winnacunnet 21. Nomeyer leading the way of all scorers with 11, followed by Purcell with 8. And Valcic also with 8.
Smart by Bedford too, with even 9 fouls called, only 2 fouls being assigned to any one player. They kept out of foul trouble and can move into the second half with their full rotation.
Yeah, nice substitutions there by Coach Thomas. Again, free throws being a huge asset on the end for Winnacunnet, going 7 for 9. Excuse me, 7 for 10.
Well, the difference is on their drives, they were looking for that contact and drawing it, whereas the quick drives from Bedford, they're kind of going around the defender, getting clean looks and making the basket, but not getting those foul calls and onto the free throw line, such as Winnacunnet is.
I think we're going to take a short break. Just remember, this is a live broadcast brought to you by Castle Hill Media Sports. Excuse me, Castle Hill Sports, specializing in athlete recruiting videos. Please call us at 603-289-4615 for more information. We're back live here from Bedford High School, almost ready to start our second half. What do you expect to see from adjustments out of Winnacunnet in the second half?
Well, with Bedford kind of stymieing the perimeter and taking away that weapon, I really don't know if they need to make adjustment on the offensive end. The defensive end, however, with that various 1-3-1, 2-3 type defense, they've had 5 people on ball side of the rim, and that's really left backside open. And if Bedford exploits it, they could open up this game a little bit.
I agree with you. I think the pressure from Winnacunnet has caused turnovers, but I think in turn they're leaving some open shooters that Bedford's unable to connect with so far, but expect that to change here in the second.
Just a reminder, the first meeting, it was 47-45 Bedford, a 2-point game. It's going to be interesting to see if this kind of follows the same script in the second half.
To start the half, we've got a Bedford basketball. There's that weak side you talked about. Tucci, fadeaway jump shot, no good. Rebound by Valcic. She's had a lot of rebounds on that weak side block. We've got Winnacunnet kind of changing up their offense here. Looking to get Nomeyer in the post. We got Arsenal on the penetration. Kicks to the shooter, that's Britton. There's a 3, we don't want to let that happen. That's a nice drive and kick. I like that call. They adjusted out of the flex into more like a 4-out, 1-in, leaving the shooters open. We've got an extended 1-3-1 to start here.
That was the first three-pointer in the entire game.
That's interesting by a team that has very good three-pointers on both sides. Got Purcell on the drive. Up and under, no good. That looks like that might have gotten tipped by those long arms of Winnacunnet. And again, slowing the ball down. We look for them to find Britton again, if possible. Nice bounce pass into the post. You'd be surprised how many girls can't throw that successfully. That's Nollmeyer getting another rebound. And then we're going to get a late foul call. I agree with the foul call. Although it was late, I do think that was a foul. I'm glad that the ref called that late. That's going to be on Lanyon. That's her second. Coach Thomas upset about that.
Well, we see the Winnacunnet foul shooter kind of having that sly smile on her face. I wonder what kind of contact happened.
It looked like from here there was contact.
I thought it was too. I thought even on the first attempt, not necessarily the second attempt. But
yeah. There's Nollmeyer. There's a rare miss for her from the free throw line. Perhaps that's karma. There we go. Makes one. Winnacunnet up 6. They're kind of extended 1-3-1. That's an offensive foul.
Absolutely
Offensive foul. That's going to be Purcell's third. That's a nice take by the sophomore. Gotta love the spunk out of sophomore number 3, Arsenal. Coach Thomas on the court calling a timeout. Very upset about this. Very upset at the referees right now. That's going to be Bree Purcell's third. That's going to put Bedford in an interesting situation here. They have more guards, but they might move Tucci over the point guard spot, which takes her out of the scoring role.
Also the third timeout already used by Coach Thomas from Bedford with 6:27 in the third. We'll see if that management gets back at her or not.
Winnacunnet only using 1, which with their lack of depth, I don't want to say lack of depth, but
short rotation.
There you go, thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's numbers too. They don't have a ton of people on their bench.
They really don't, but that will help them for sure in the fourth quarter. Rest some of that.
We don't either, but we just make it look like we do by adding as many coaches as we can.
Yeah.
Just teasing. All right, we've got Britton inbounding the ball to Valcic. What's nice about Winnacunnet is they can rotate with Valcic and Arsenal bringing the ball up. Valcic more of a threat to score. That's going to be a charge call against Valcic, taken by Maddie Blake. It's a nice job by the refereeing. I think she had position. That's Valcic's second. I wouldn't stress about that. That's a nice job out of the timeout by Bedford defensively to get the stop. O'Connell. Meservy, she's a threat from 3 as well. Kicks it to Maddie Blake in the corner. Throws it past to Lanyon. Able to find Meservy on the other corner. Bedford really moving the ball. Multiple hands touching the ball before this possession. That's going to be a miss by Janois. Lanyon.
Good jab series, a couple fakes on that one, though. It was a nice look.
It was a great look. Can go into her left, potentially her weak hand. We got Cadigan with the ball on the top of the elbow. Back in the flex. I don't think we want to give it to Arsenal, even though she's open on the low block. There's the shooter, Britton.
Oh, there's that look you want right there.
And there's Valcic. That might have been a foul against Tucci that they kind of got away with. That's going to be off-white. Nice call here by referee Galvin. We got Allie Fillion subbing in. She's going to take Lanyon. Bedford going with a bit of a smaller lineup, but definitely still maintain the strong defensive pressure. This is a great defensive lineup by Bedford. We got Nollmeyer in the low block and finishes the left. She does a great job with that left hand.
It was real consistent, her target. She's finding the right spot on the backboard every time, not altering it in any way just because there's defense. And that's the biggest thing you need to do in the post.
Winnacunnet up 8. You'd like to see them rebound by Cadigan. Against Memorial, Winnacunnet, Memorial started off the third quarter with an 8-0 lead, and Winnacunnet was able to fight back. I'm interested to see how the third quarter goes here with a Winnacunnet lead, seeing if they can kind of work the ball, slow down the possessions, value the basketball. There's the shooter, Britton, off of a bad pass, unable to get that one off.
Well, she doesn't have much time with the length of that defender on her.
There's a lot of little things you notice that Winnacunnet does well. Free throws, these posts finishing around the rim. A lot of them dribble with their head up. Good interior passing. Surprised that's not a travel. Nollmeyer again, that's a huge rebound out of her. And she's going to shoot a couple more free throws. She single-handedly has gotten Bedford in foul trouble here.
Absolutely. She came from the perimeter to get that rebound without a body on her the entire way.
That's going to be a Bedford foul against Nikki Tucci. That's going to be her first. So we've got Tucci with 1, O'Connell with 2, Purcell with 3, Mia Roy with 1. Purcell's going to come back in with her 3rd foul. It would be a tough call for Bedford if she picks up her 4th here in the 3rd quarter. Nollmeyer hits both. That's another quick 5 points for Nollmeyer. Winnacunnet with a 10-point lead. Bedford yet to score in this frame. We get a 5-second call. That's a quick 5 count. Quick 5 count. Coach Thomas not pleased with this refereeing. Bedford's got to stay up on the bench. They're down by 10, but there's still a ton of time in this game. And I really think they have the capacity to score 10 quick points in no time, as they did to start this game with the 4 quick buckets in a short period of time. That's good defense by Purcell, but then we got Nollmeyer, goes to the basket. Cadigan unable to finish on the rebound. Nollmeyer with another offensive board. Gosh, she's a beast underneath.
Absolutely. And we see Bedford going to that smaller guard lineup to get some man quick pressure on, but that was the sacrifices those offensive boards are giving up.
3 quick offensive boards. Moving the ball. That almost looks like Tucci travels, but she does not. Look at Nollmeyer dribbling the ball up the floor. Gives to Valcic. A defensive stop by Bedford and a quick bucket could turn this thing around from them. I think once they get the ball back, if they can just get 1 basket, they're good to go. But momentum is all Winnacunnet right now. Cadigan, unfortunately, can't finish. Again, you see her athleticism, but she's unable to finish around the bucket. Tucci gets another good look, and she's unable to make it. That's going to be another rebound by Nollmeyer. I think Winnacunnet needs to slow the ball down and try to extend this lead. No quick shots. Work the ball, see what they can get underneath.
Yeah, that's what Bedford wants them to do, is speed it up and try to get it back onto their side of the tempo. But
look at those 2 working in the post, though. That is a beautiful screen and rescreen by Cadigan. There's going to be a timeout against Bedford. That's huge momentum for Winnacunnet.
Yeah, we have a 14-point game and the 4th timeout used by Bedford already.
It's going to be a full timeout for Bedford. Coach Turcotte here trying to keep her team calm. Although the momentum is a good thing, we don't want them to get too overconfident here in the 3rd.
Yeah, if you feel like you've already won it, then you're going to start losing it.
Coach Thomas, you're right, using her 4th timeout. If this gets to be a close game in the 4th quarter, you hate to see all those timeouts being used.
Well, that's the thing with this Winnacunnet team. They're not a flashy team by any means. They just play good, solid, fundamental basketball. And, I mean, it's right now, the shots aren't falling for Bedford. A couple different turnovers, foul calls, maybe went up against them. But if Winnacunnet can just stay in their lane and just keep composure and stay in control of this game, they should be able to come out here with a victory, but still a lot of basketball to be played.
So I'm getting a live report from the Pinkerton BG game. That's the 4-5 matchup. The winner of that game is going to play the winner of this game. It's 8-7 Pinkerton after 1. Purcell, the quick shot, no good. Bedford's shots just don't seem to be falling in this quarter. Could be this Winnacunnet defense. That's good pressure by Bedford. That's really how they can fight back in this game quickly. And good job not turning the ball over. There's Mia Roy. That's another jump shot for Roy. That's just what Bedford needed. I love the energy on the bench over there. That's a freshman. That's a huge shot for her. Again, Winnacunnet needs to be calm under pressure. It's a foul by Allie Fillion.
On that last basket, that assist was a great find by number 13.
That's Courtney O'Connell. Her height and her ability to hang in the air really proves for her to be a good passer. I mean, I'd love to see her on the volleyball court because her athleticism is ridiculous.
Yeah, those crossover sport athletes are definitely beneficial in both ways. It's nice when they can diversify themselves a little bit, get some cross-training in, different skill sets.
This is a 12-point game, but Bedford really looking feisty. Mia Roy, huge play by the freshman. So she hits a jump shot, then she dives on the floor. Really fighting back for Bedford. You don't expect that necessarily out of freshmen to be the heart and soul in the mid-third quarter, down by 12, but that's beautiful to see.
Good on Coach Thomas, too, utilizing that timeout, getting a little bit of pushback here, see if they can get some value out of this next possession.
Potentially helping them believe. We've got Purcell with the ball on the wing. Mia Roy finds Fillion, who drives, goes for the shot, blocked by Valcic. Valcic, again, although she plays point guard, she really on the defensive end gets underneath and grabs a lot of boards, gets a lot of tips. She's long for a guard. There's the Britton, the shooter. Tucci, great block, lands unfortunately out of bounds. Got Rachel Woodrig checking in here for Allie Fillion. And we've got number 45, Krista Lamprey, a senior on Winnacunnet, checking in.
If 24 can adjust on those closeouts by Bedford, that's Molly Britton, the redhead shooter out there for Winnacunnet. If she can adjust on those closeouts and either go around on a drive or just a step to the side to shoot that three, she'll get more looks. But right now she's shooting into the arms and not good possessions there.
There's the length of O'Connell really getting in the way of any play by Nollmeyer. Nollmeyer kind of looked like she went around her. Then we got a turnover on a carry call by Tucci. Tucci's got a nice little bounce in her step. I'm surprised to see a travel on that. Good job, Winnacunnet. They need to be calm under pressure. That's where that double team really doesn't work because Nollmeyer is able to pass out of it. We got Winnacunnet with a timeout.
That's a smart timeout, regain control.
30-second timeout. I think with the minute 30 left in the third, they want to maintain this 12-point lead going into the fourth, but they really need to value these possessions. Even if they get good looks and a miss, not a bad thing compared to a turnover, which, you know, kind of gets your confidence down as well as gives momentum to the other team.
Well, and you know that right there. Right? This is all about confidence and the mentality from both sides. If Winnacunnet can come out of here with a double-digit lead going into the fourth, and just seeing those numbers on the scoreboard will really give them the faith in themselves to finish this game off.
So Bedford still only underclassmen on the floor. Bedford only has one senior on their roster. It was yet to see the floor in tonight's game. We got Purcell bringing the ball up. Remember, Purcell has 3 fouls. She's been in for a couple minutes here, has not picked up her fourth. I'd like Winnacunnet to go after that. There's Tucci from long range. I think Bedford needs to work the ball a little bit more. There's O'Connell just jumping by everybody, gets her own rebound, kicks it to Purcell, finds Mia Roy, who finds O'Connell, who gets nailed by, I think that's going to be on number 45 on Winnacunnet. That's going to be on 13. Interesting call. That's going to be on Meg Nollmeyer. That's only going to be her first foul, though. Oh, excuse me. That's number. There is no 13.
There's no 13. I think he was trying to call it on 14. Yeah.
45. He just called it.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Which is who I thought it was on, but.
Well, numbers are pretty similar, so I can understand the confusion.
We got O'Connell. I just can't say enough good things about Courtney O'Connell. She. Great kid on and off the court. Like I said, multi-sport athlete. You don't see a lot of that these days.
Shares your first name.
She has my first name,
yeah.
Yes. I'm biased in that sense. Nice Irish last name, or perhaps Scottish. No, I just think, you know, you hear the name Tucci, you hear the name Purcell, and O'Connell just does a lot of little things for Bedford. That's a foul on number 11, Rachel Woodrig. Rachel Woodrig, very aggressive on the defensive end, but gets called for that hand check call. She does ride the offensive players a little bit. It's going to be a nice aggressive job by Bedford. Look, Bedford's looking to double team. I don't think we need to force the ball on Winnacunnet, but that's Tucci again with another block, and Mia Roy on the attack, but then we've got a block here by Valcic. A lot of blocks, You know,
yeah, both sides. It's the hand-eye coordination, the quick hands, anticipating where that shot's coming up.
The defense, I'm very impressed with. This is a low-scoring game for a team with a lot of both teams, a lot of offensive power. Rachel Woodrig from the corner. That's no good. Molly Britton on the rebound. Valcic, I think they need to get one possession here. It's hard to settle down when Bedford's pressuring like this. But Valcic's able to go right by, and she's going to go up and under. She's going to score the basket. That's where that aggressive defense gets you in trouble if you're patient. That's a good job by Valcic. They needed that conversion after kind of going scoreless for a while. 21 seconds, getting to Purcell, who should be able to drive right by there. Kicks it to Tucci. Tucci's game from that shot, but today she's just not finding it. Valcic again, a huge rebound, getting triple teamed. Good anticipation by Mia Roy. Arsenal able to get it. That's a travel. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think she got a little ahead of herself. 6 seconds left. Maybe a little hesitation move, but well, that's an aggressive play by Mia Roy. You got to love that. That's, again, athleticism. The athletes on the floor right now, really phenomenal on both sides. You got Nikki Tucci with the ball. 5, 4, launches it early.
Nice.
Rachel Woodring kind of gets the rebound, unable to convert. So going into the fourth, we got a 13-point lead for Winnacunnet. They were able to hold Bedford to just 3 points in that frame. A basket by Mia Roy and a foul shot by Courtney O'Connell. 13 points, and Coach Turcotte still has 3 timeouts. I look for her to use those to kind of give these guys some rest. We still have 4 starters in the game, and Cadigan's going to check back in. So we're going back to our starting lineup. We've all played lots of minutes in this game. I'm not sure Valcic sat at all. So in that frame, again, Nollmeyer with 9 points. She has 20 points on the game. Not even a full game here.
We talked about how many blocks are happening in this game, but hardly any against her. I mean, she is establishing contact when she goes up to make sure the shot blockers don't have a free range swing at her shots. And so she's drawing the fouls like that, getting up good, clean looks, finishing off the glass. It's just smart attacking to earn all those 20 points. Besides
that one shot she threw up with the left hand against O'Connell, I really don't think she's missed many inside the paint there. She goes left very well. I believe she's a righty, but she really uses that left hand well. That's probably years of getting pounded with the pad and the low block.
Well, that has that unpredictability out of a post game. I mean, playing post is a cat and mouse type game where you really need that deception and versatility. I don't know about that shot by Arsenal coming out of the start of the fourth. I don't think we need to shoot that. Luckily, the ball's going to go back to Winnacunnet. That's a sophomore shooting that shot. I think, time and score situation. We don't want to come out of the start of the quarter and really jack a 3. That's a quick, he's going to call an offensive foul. Interesting call here. I believe that's going to be against 23. That's Kaya Cadigan. That's her first. Interesting illegal screen call. Not sure I really saw that. Well, it's the first time we saw it all game being called, so it's going to be interesting to see if the refs try to maybe change the landscape a little bit. So we've got Woodring in the game, Tucci, O'Connell, Mia Roy, and Bree Purcell for Bedford. That's not their starting lineup. This is a very guard-oriented defensive lineup for Bedford, which I'm guessing is to try to come back for this lead. That's number 3 on Arsenal. They don't really want to take her out because that makes Valcic the only point guard on the floor for Winnacunnet. We got Allie Fillion checking in here. She's going to check in for Woodring. That's an even switch right there. Both very strong defensive players who can shoot the ball and handle the ball. Got Purcell giving it to Mia Roy, who's going to find O'Connell. We got Arsenal running it down. I think I'd let that go. That's a good job by her. Yeah, smart shielding. I thought she was going to pick it up, but, that's a good call. Her father's a coach, so you wonder if that's a little coaching mind in her. Got Maddie Blake coming back in for Courtney O'Connell. So we've got a sophomore and 2 freshmen on the floor for Bedford and 2 juniors. And we got a junior, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a senior on the floor for Winnacunnet. So kind of even on the experience side of things. Got Molly Britton guarded by Tucci. We've got Arsenal guarded by Mia Roy. Cadigan guarded by Allie Fillion. Counts. Looks like Cadigan has a mismatch with Fillion in the post. We have not seen Winnacunnet go to that yet. There's an interesting call. I'm not sure I would pass to Arsenal in the post. Good no call by the refs, though. I like when people are going for loose balls when they don't, when they don't call a foul call. Yeah, if it's a 50-50 and both people are establishing contact, there's really not a call you can make, and some people just gas and try to get themselves out of it. Bedford looks like they're kind of getting away with some aggressive defense. There's Tucci, no good. Maddie Blake with the offensive board. Feeds to Fillion, who finds Purcell, who's driving, dishes to Fillion, who finds Mia. She's been deadly from the right side. Oh, that would have been a huge shot. Tucci on the rebound. Bedford just can't find the rim. Or they can find the rim, they can't find the basket. No, and that's been the story all night. The mid-range and outside shots just not falling for Bedford tonight. That's a great fight on the offensive end. We've got a foul on Bedford, number 42. That's Maddie Blake. I didn't see that one. A little shove underneath, maybe going into the back of the rebounder.
We got 6-4 in fouls this quarter, kind of even. Again, if Winnacunnet can kind of get that 7th foul against Bedford, they could really seal this game with some free throws. Nollmeyer on the top of the key, guarded by Blake. She's got to go. They're calling a lot of 5-second calls. Bedford's being aggressive. This flex offense that Winnacunnet runs, although it's nice to delay, they're delaying a little too long before getting rid of the basketball.
Well, and they've really lost their roles the last few possessions. They've just seemed lost and communicating by yelling at their players. It needs to get a little bit more of that structure and composure that they showed in the first half.
Nice backdoor cut. That's a drive by Blake. That's going to be a foul on Cadigan. That's going to be her 2nd, team's 5th. And we got Maddie Blake shooting 2. Maddie really worked on her free throws in the offseason. Like to see her convert these. I only know that because I worked on them with her. That was good. I don't want to say I worked on her with her and then have her miss a couple there.
Right, yeah. This is speaking towards your credibility right now.
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
Misses the 2nd.
Yeah.
Bedford going with that 2-guard extended press. Arsenal doing a nice job bringing the ball up. I am not giving her enough credit on her defense, on her dribbling ability. I see the stands really egging them on with this 5-second call. That's a great hustle play by Purcell. Tucci gonna take it herself. That's gonna be a block call. I think that's kind of a good defensive play. I'm not sure I see the block on that.
Yeah, it's the principality of verticality, and I'm pretty sure she was there in time, going straight up, did not come through, but...
Where'd you pull that one from? Principality or verticality?
Oh, that's an Alaskan thing right there.
Oh,
so,
is it? Kind of like the timeouts that you call with your hand instead of the tee?
I'm telling you, I believe all college coaches call it with the fist, but...
I don't even get that. That's going to be a 60-second timeout by Coach Turcotte. She's going to really have to juice these timeouts for the last 5:30. Because she needs to have her team relax a little bit. They're really not doing much on the offensive end. Credit to Bedford's defensive pressure. I don't think Winnacunnet scored in this frame.
No, and it seems like they've been going away from Nollmeyer. She was really the catalyst in this entire game, and if they can start getting her more looks to get inside and possibly get a couple foul calls, get into the bonus, Winnacunnet should be able to have an advantage, but they're slipping ground a little bit, and Bedford with that tenacity and those hustle plays, especially by Purcell, this one's not over yet.
Also remember, Purcell and Tucci, and O'Connell, they've been playing since they were freshmen. Purcell and Tucci both started as freshmen on that Bedford squad that won a state championship. So they know what it's like to get to SNU. They know what it's like to play in these games. I would expect them to give it all they have in the last 5:28 of this basketball game. We got Tucci on the line here. She's going to shoot 2. Makes the first. I think that's what she needed to kind of get the lid off the rim for her. She's a very smooth shooter, usually above 90% from the free throw line, and makes a second one there, drawing it to a 10-point game with 5:30. And remember, Bedford's going to give it all they have in this 4th, but watch Nollmeyer. She refuses to lose as well. And O'Connell, that's going to be a foul on O'Connell, and we're going to have Kaya Cadigan shooting free throws. That's O'Connell's 3rd. That's that hustle play that's just, I think, an unfortunate play call against O'Connell. I mean, she's just hustling for the basketball, inadvertently hits Cadigan in the face, and I mean, I guess you got to call it, but.
Right, nothing malicious or egregious, but if the contact happens, even if incidental, it does have to be called, especially because it affected the play.
That's a huge tip on the rebound by Valcic. That's an unfortunate miss by Cadigan, who's now really hurting. I didn't see what happened on that. Is that just residual from the... After she missed, I think she got elbowed in the face when they were fighting for the rebound. Got Bedford kind of working the ball.
It just looked like residualness from the initial play. Her jaw's clearly what she's grabbing there. Maybe
her ear maybe a little bit. Tucci again makes that one. That's what good shooters do. They shoot, they keep shooting when they need to. That's going to bring it to a 10-point game. Winnacunnet's got to be careful with these lob passes. I think they need to, be choosy with their shots. Look for the shots that they need. Purcell's just ripping the ball from anyone at the top of the key. That's going to be an easy foul call. And Purcell landing wrong on her quad, I think. Maybe her ankle.
Oh, she's gotten them back in this. This would not be.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's just a cramp. She's got some sort of tape on her left leg. I think when she just came down on it, little cramp action. Hopefully. I think it's an initial scare. We got the trainer all over the place here. Between Cadigan with gauze in her mouth on the bench and Purcell with a little bit of a calf or ankle injury, maybe. We're going to
He's earning that name tag tonight.
Insert a free throw shooter. Hopefully Coach Thomas, she's going to have Purcell shoot him. Purcell must be money from the line. Not sure with her free throw shooting ability. Otherwise, Coach Thomas can pull someone off the bench if she wants to. But I think I'd go with my junior too, my experienced junior. I think Purcell's pretty good from the line.
Well, the issue might be they called the coach onto the floor, so she may have to leave for a possession is the issue.
Gotcha.
It's definitely a rule in soccer for the high school. Not sure about Yep, must
and
be.
And there she is. And looks like Coach Thomas is going to have Fillion come in. Fillion's a decent free throw shooter too. See her working on these free throws as much as she can in the gym.
Well, that can always be a sneaky tool to have a injury substitution on the free throw. You can have one of your snipers come in, get a quick 2 points, see what happens here.
Exactly, but you also don't want anybody who's too cold. Fillion's going to miss the first. Coach Thomas does look calm over on the sidelines, which is nice. Still confident, thinks she's seen her team fight back. We knew it was going to be a battle. There's Fillion with her second, misses that as well. And we're going to another long rebound off the free throw by Maddie Blake. Really doing a great job on the offensive boards for Bedford. Bedford working the ball. They can afford to get a quick look, but they really need to make sure that they don't take too much time off as they're down by 10 with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. We've got Purcell checks quickly back in for Maddie Blake. I think this is an offensive substitution. If Winnacunnet was smart, they'd recognize that and really go back to Nullmeyer. But it's easy for me to say over here. The intricacies of the game are a lot easier to get. That's an amazing, amazing finish by Courtney O'Connell.
Yeah, I was seeing an in-air adjustment to the potential block.
And we got, who just scored that one? O'Connell again?
No, it was, I believe, number 3 for Bedford.
Mia Roy. We got another timeout. Again, that's a 6-point game. Now Bedford really going to get the momentum. This is where those offensive possessions are killing Winnacunnet.
Yeah, they haven't even had an answer on the inbounds. Also, 1 timeout remaining for each coach and 3:41 left. I mean, soon it's going to be just the girls playing on the court and adjustments will be out the window.
This is a full timeout by Winnacunnet. That's their 4th. So both coaches using almost all their timeouts. They have 1 left each. This is a down to the wire game. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the stakes being higher, of course, advancing out of this round. Probably just trying to value each possession and catch that momentum swing from really doing damage on either side.
At halftime of the Pinkerton game, it's 16-13, Pinkerton over BG. That seems like a defensive battle. Both those teams also have offensive weapons, but the nerves could be preventing them from scoring. And I also have the halftime score of Alvern and Central. That's 16-12. So not a ton of baskets being scored around the state of New Hampshire right now in these quarterfinal games. Got Winnacunnet getting into Arsenal. Bedford's probably going to trap. Good job by Arsenal getting out of that. We got 4 people. There's got to be someone open. Hopefully Britton doesn't launch that, even though she's a good shooter. We don't want to see any Winnacunnet launching long shots. That's a 4th foul against Purcell. That could be interesting. That's 4 fouls against Purcell. And again, we've got 1-1 Arsenal. See if she can make these. Arsenal has no points in this basketball game, but she really has had some huge plays. There's her first bucket. And now we see the Bedford crowd over there really trying to get into this and prevent her from making any progress. We got Kaya Cadigan checking back in the game for number 30, Casey Maggiore.
Yeah, the doghouse is definitely getting fired up over there.
And Arsenal launches a quick one. I could tell that one was going to be a little bit long. She seemed to release that a little quickly. It's going to be a 3-possession ball game, though, for Bedford. Nice find there. Purcell's going to attack. Nollmeyer not scoring in this frame. O'Connell again. Rebound by Valcic. Look to see if they can get the ball to Nollmeyer. They're trying to settle it down a little bit more, though. I don't know about the one-handed pass.
No, you don't want to be slinging those things around.
Bedford very aggressive right now. And Winnacunnet almost looks pretty calm, actually. I like to see someone at the high post for some shorter passes. These aggressive defense really provides, that's...
That might have been a travel. That corner is bad news. And that's the quickest 5-second call I've ever seen in my life.
He's called a lot of 5-second calls.
It tends to be his MO a little bit, but...
Now we got Meservey checking in for Tucci. Meservey a 3-point threat. So you got Fillion a 3-point threat. Meservey a 3-point threat. Look for Bedford to do some offense, defensive substitution with Meservey and Blake. In here, we got Purcell pressured. See, we don't want to leave Meservey open. She's a good shooter. Airballs that one. Right on point, though.
Great save.
That's Mia Roy again. Huge, huge rebound. And O'Connell, I tell you, those two combined for a huge game here. 5 points, Winnacunnet up. Got to be careful. Oh, Britton launching the 3. I got to give her the green light on that. She's a good shooter. Huge rebound by Arsenal. Great fight. They're going to go blue ball. Although, I don't know. I might have delayed the clock a little bit. 5 points, but she hits that. It's a whole different ball game. I don't know about that.
Especially with the lane ahead of her, if she would have attacked, draw that help side defender and gave it to the post on the backside, I would have rather took the 2 in that situation.
It's one of those plays where if it makes it, you're excited.
Exactly.
If she misses it, you're kind of complaining. This is where that hometown crowd really, really plays into it. See, we got Tucci in for the offensive end for Meservey. I think Coach Thomas kind of lets Meservey shoot, and then if she misses, she kind of sits her. If she makes it, she lets her stay.
If it's your night, your night. If not, let's come over here.
She's streaky. She gets it.
Yeah.
I think you got to go put your junior back in.
The turnover was interesting because even though she tipped it in the front court, she didn't have possession, so she could have still recovered, but instead she dove out of bounds to try and, a desperation save almost.
I got to be honest. I've taken the reffing course. I've coached basketball. I've played basketball. The whole backcourt rule, I'm not even sure I understand it sometimes. So I don't think I'd take that risk.
Well,
we don't want to let Mia Roy shoot. She's really been hot from the outside. Misses that one. Allie Fillion with a great rebound. We got 1:40 to play. Nollmeyer, smart player that she is, kind of takes the ball up, but I don't think you want to let that be lazy. That's going to be a foul against Winnacunnet. I don't mind Nollmeyer slowing it down, but she's got to take it a little over half court more, so you're not getting so aggressive. Who's that foul on?
I believe it's on 3.
Again, that's her 4th.
Yeah.
That's Arsenal's 4th. The 1:40 left to play. Bedford up, down by 5. Purcell's going to go to the line. This could be a 1-possession game after these free throws. Again, Coach Thomas looking very confident.
Yeah, Nollmeyer has to show that strength in the open court. We saw it against Adam Morrison's last year at Gonzaga. His center gave up a really dumb turnover by just not controlling the ball strong and can change a game.
2 great free throws by Purcell. It's a 3-point basketball game. And remember, this Bedford pressure really could create some turnovers. We got 3 Bedford people in the front court. Look for, I was looking for Winnacunnet to call a timeout there. This Bedford pressure is really, really taking it to them in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's a 3-man chase down. If they would just show some middle support for the point guard, I believe they could break it easily, but, getting caught up in the speed of the game.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
You really want them to have someone middle for these shorter passes. You got Winnacunnet kind of hanging back a little bit, but you don't mind. We don't want to give up any threes. I don't think Bedford needs to shoot a 3. I think they need to work the ball a little bit. Purcell on the drive, kicks it to the shooter, Tucci, who's going to pass to O'Connell. Back to Purcell. Not a great 3-point shooter, but hits that one. That's going to be a tie basketball game with a minute left. Momentum going to Bedford on that. We got Winnacunnet ball. Arsenal getting manhandled on the sideline. And we're going to get a foul on Tucci.
Yeah, the captain Purcell is really just put them back in this. I mean, with all of her hustle plays, kind of sparking everybody else to do the same, and such a big three in that corner.
She's not a dominant three-point shooter, but that's a huge three by Purcell. She really has been great in this game. There's Arsenal, hits that one. That gives Winnacunnet the lead. What do you think? If you're Coach Thomas, let him play it out or get it over half court and run a play to, let's see. I think if I'm down 1, I think I'm going to get it over half court and run a play to try to score 1. Down 2, I might let him play it out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, both teams in the bonus, I've definitely looked at something going to the rim. The refs have definitely opened up the whistles, so let's see what happens here.
Give it to Purcell,
Absolutely,
why not?
yeah.
Drives, nice pass.
Such a good find.
2 cheat for 2. That's going to be a tie basketball game. And Bedford defense all over the place. I think Coach Turcotte is going to use that last timeout once they get the ball over half court. Unless they're going to potentially unless there's a potential turnover, then I think she might use it sooner. Valsic's very confident with the basketball, though. Look at her bringing their head up. They might get, with this Bedford pressure, they might get a wide open look. I think Winnacunnet needs to flash someone to the high post. Bedford going for the steal.
Yeah,
Letting the time run down a little bit. I like that. Give it to Nollmeyer. Find Nollmeyer on a roll.
That's timeout needs to be called right now.
Timeout. Not sure what that call was.
Must have been on a little deflection.
There's a timeout.
Stepping on the line.
That's good patience by Turcotte. I think I might have called that as soon as the trap happened.
Oh yeah, I would have definitely pulled that trigger. But
Coach Turcotte hopefully has her play already drawn up. Not going for the whiteboard. That's her last timeout. Bedford still has 1. So despite using all of her 4 of her timeouts early, Coach Thomas still has 1 timeout. Let's see what Winnacunnet's going to do. I think if I were them, I'd try to work the ball for the last shot, work it in for Nollmeyer maybe on a little pick and roll. I like that play with Cadigan on the wheel play, back screen and screen the post. So you got both options, Cadigan rolling down the lane, Nollmeyer rolling down the lane. Right now, Bedford looks a lot calmer than they did at the beginning of this 4th quarter.
Yeah, it has to be something to the basket. I'd also be aware of not going too early, but if they do delay, I mean, that's been kind of what got Bedford into this, is they went back onto their heels, strong pressure defense, and kind of being unaware of where those quick, sneaky hands are of Bedford.
All right, let's see what the play is out of this timeout. Coach Turcotte must have gone over this numerous times in practice because she did not use her whiteboard in that timeout. I'm expecting Nollmeyer to screen across for Cadigan. Nollmeyer is going to screen across for Cadigan. And then maybe rescreen.
Coach Thomas was talking to the ref. Expect a quick timeout if they somehow get possession on this.
It's going to be possession on a jump ball. Is going to go to Bedford, I believe, if the scoreboard is correct. They got to watch this 5-second call. There's the flex play that they've been running.
I mean, she said, yeah.
Oh, they got to go a lot faster. Those 5-second calls have been quick. That's a push from behind from O'Connell.
Yep.
I saw the first one, though.
I did too, yeah.
I saw her 2-hand shove Nollmeyer from behind. I don't know if I saw that call, but I saw the first one. That's going to be Nollmeyer going to the line. These are big free throws for Nollmeyer with 8 seconds left. And we've got Courtney O'Connell with her 4th foul. I don't know if you need to take her out necessarily. I guess if you save her for overtime. Nollmeyer with big free throws. Let's see how she does in this situation. Hits the first.
That's a great ride. Bringing in an extra rebounder too, Bedford.
And that's not, oh, I'm sorry. I thought she was going to take Courtney O'Connell out. That's a good call by Bedford. Although she needs more of an offensive, she definitely needs to get the defensive board, but she's got to work the offensive play here. We've got Nollmeyer with 2, and there's the timeout by Bedford. They're going to go use a full timeout. Interested to see, if I'm Bedford, I think I go for 2. But let's see if she keeps her 3-point shooters in or she tries to work the ball to the rim. 8 seconds left. Winnacunnet up by 2. I would like Winnacunnet to extend their pressure up a little bit. Expect them to stay in the zone.
You have to buy seconds on the defensive end, maybe just 1-2 flash fake pressure, but Bedford definitely getting the ball in Purcell's hands. I mean, she's been the magic maker for them all night. Let's see what else she has up her sleeve.
I'm nervous, and I'm not even coaching these games right now. I think that Winnacunnet, you could expect to extend the pressure out. They're going to stay in the 1-3-1. So if I'm Bedford, I'm trying to probably get the ball to the corner. Quick shot, maybe an offensive rebound by O'Connell. I think I'd substitute Maddie Blake here for one of my guards potentially to get the ball, get the offensive rebound on a miss. They don't need the 3, but I think their easiest shots are going to be from the corner. What's your call on this?
I mean, yeah, they've hit, what, 1 3-pointer all night. I mean, I would get something going to the rim. I think the refs have been primed to really look for that, any type of contact on the drives. But again, get it in Purcell's hands. Let her find someone, as she's done all night. Look for O'Connell to be really active on the offensive glass for a tip-in, too.
I also think that driving baseline, they're looking for a screen, although they're going to stay in zone. Surprised that was not called. Nice fake. Fillion launches it.
Oh, man.
Bedford wins. That was a great shot by Allie Fillion. Winnacunnet's going to advance with a 42-40 victory over Bedford. That was as good a look as you were going to get. Nice shot fake and one dribble by Mia Roy.
Very impressed they didn't force anything up. I mean, it was a very clean look. It was dead on. Just unfortunate it didn't go in for Bedford tonight.
So Nollmeyer, really the big numbers here. 11 first half points. 7 second half points. 11 second half points for a total of 22. 22 points for Nollmeyer. That's huge. Also, free throws playing a huge role for Winnacunnet.
Yeah, that high percentage definitely, obviously, was a difference in this game. I mean, a 2-point victory. Would have liked to see a little bit more looks from Nollmeyer in the fourth, but when it counted, she stepped up and made those 2 free throws, which was the difference.
15 for 20. 15 for 20 from the free throw line for Winnacunnet.
That will win you games, obviously, and good rebounding off both sides of the glass for them, and it was a victory well earned.
That was a well-played basketball game, as anticipated. Final score 42 Winnacunnet, 40 on Bedford. Bedford led by 13 points from Brianna Purcell, and everybody else kind of even across the board. And then again, Winnacunnet just again Nollmeyer with the majority of the basketball points tonight for Winnacunnet. Again, she was big in the Memorial game, big in this game. Expect her to continue to be big as they move on in the tournament.
Yeah, I couldn't speak more enough about Brianna Purcell's game tonight. Definitely second half, she was the catalyst to make this much closer than it probably should have been, but give her all the credit for doing so.
Again, well, thank you. We'll be live on Monday night seeing the Winnacunnet Warriors play the winner of the BG Pinkerton game, which as of halftime was pretty close. Again, this is a live broadcast by Castle Hill Sports, and we do athletic recruiting videos, so you can give us a call at 603-289-4615. This is Courtney Cheatham and Rustin Hitchcock signing off.
Have a good night.